what you put in is what you get out. So what I often talk about is what you put into your kids is what you get out. And what I mean by that is what efforts, what availability, how you stay present with your children. And it's really interesting because what I am seeing a lot of is what happens. For example, I was in a restaurant last week and watching a family, and there were like 4 or 5 children. They were all on the iPad. They had earphones on, and there was no communication with anybody for 2 hours while the adults talked and the children just sat on an iPad. And, it does astonish me that children who come to therapy find it very difficult to communicate, find it very difficult to articulate and have conversations. And the art of conversation is getting lost. So it kind of made me think about what kind of parenting and efforts do people put in. And sometimes I understand that parenting is exhausting, but I also think it's one of those things that if you're going to have children, then you need to think about how you're going to step up and how you're going to manage those difficult situations and the development of your child. And one of the things that children often talk about in therapy is how if they have siblings, and let's say there's 2 or 3 of them, how their needs are not ever met, and their needs depends on their siblings' needs. And I guess that's really interesting from a child's perspective, that they feel they have different needs to their siblings and yet they're treated the same way as their siblings. And I think that's, people often say I treated all my children the same, but I don't know if you can, because the birth order is different. When they were born, the circumstances were different. You're different with your first child than you are with your last child. And you will be in a different place when you are giving birth or in your relationship. So all of these factors come into the parenting. And I think it's really important to think about how do I meet the needs of each of my children? And each of my children may have different needs and may require different parenting styles.